Your credit score is a huge factor when determining whether you qualify for a home loan or not, but probably even more significant is how much money you can save by having good credit. Did you know that borrowers with a 760 credit score or higher can save as much as $185 per month on a 30-year loan compared to that of borrowers with a 620 to 640 credit score? We're talking about over $66,000 in savings for the life of the loan here. That's basically enough money for another down payment on a home, or basically 66,000 Arizona iced teas, if you're into that. In this video, I share with you some simple yet useful tips that will help you raise your credit score so that you can also qualify for the home of your dreams, but also save a lot of money in the process. I know, you're welcome. What's going on, everyone? My name is Vargas from the Vargas team, and welcome to another video. This is a real estate channel, of course, so the intent of this video is for you to increase your score so that you can go out there and, you guessed it, buy some real estate. But your credit score and your overall credit health goes so much more deeper than your ability to qualify for a loan. People with lower credit pay higher interest on pretty much everything else, so that basically means credit cards, car loans, even renting an apartment may mean you're going to pay more money than somebody else with better credit. Okay, so what can you do to fix your credit? Well, first, you must understand that your credit score is broken down into various different categories, or as I like to refer to them, credit factors. However, not all credit factors are created equal, as each one will affect your credit score in a different way. Some carry more weight, if you will, while others are not as detrimental. But the point is that some of these credit factors are basically credit killers if not addressed properly. So the absolute first step is to find out what credit factor or factors are killing your credit score. You cannot fix what you don't bring to light, so bringing this to light means obtaining a full credit report, which will outline your credit history and the factors that affect your score. Nowadays, a bunch of websites exist to provide free credit reports, and although this is a great way for you to see where your credit stands, it serves more as a credit monitoring service than it is to fix this problem. So where do you obtain a credit report, you may ask? Well, the official government website that allows you to obtain a free credit report every 12 months is called annualcreditreport.com. This website will provide you with a free, but more importantly, accurate credit report from all three credit bureaus that will break down your credit factors. One of the biggest factors that could drag down your credit score is your credit utilization rate. Basically, this boils down to how much money you owe divided by your credit limit. To maintain this category of credit in good standing, you want to keep your credit utilization rate as low as possible. Ideally, try to stay under 30% of your credit limit. So, using really complicated math here, if you have a $1,000 credit limit, then you want to make sure your credit spending is never over $300. For some people, this may be easier said than done, but the good news is if you're able to pay down your credit cards to under 30%, your score will almost instantaneously go up. Because credit utilization carries so much weight in comparison to other credit factors, then I would recommend focusing on this factor as soon as you can. You wouldn't believe how many of my clients' credit scores have jumped up simply by lowering their credit utilization rate to a healthy level. Now, you may not be in a position for you to pay down your credit, so another option you have is raising your credit limit. I know this sounds counterproductive, but hear me out. Let's use that same example of a $1,000 credit limit. And let's assume you have a $500 balance that you need to pay. In this example, you would have a 50% credit utilization rate, which would effectively hurt your credit score. However, if you were able to raise your credit limit another $1,000, well, now you have a $2,000 credit limit, and those same $500 would bring your utilization rate to 25%. And at 25%, you're in good standing and your credit score is going to go up. This only works if you maintain the same credit balance that you owe, and you must be careful not to rack up any more charges just because you have a higher credit limit, and I know it's tempting. But if you do, then at that point, yes, it would be counterproductive. Another credit factor that plays a big role in your score is if you have any accounts in collections. Having an account go into collections just means that the creditor basically just gave up on trying to collect any money that is owed and has since sold the account to a third-party collection agency. Accounts in collections hold a lot of weight, so the best way to resolve this is to obviously pay them off. But if you can't pay off the full balance, the good news is that many times you can negotiate directly with the collection agency and reach an agreement which in many cases is going to be far less than what you actually owe. The reason for this is because the credit agency likely purchased your account for pennies on the dollar, so theoretically any money they collect over what they spent is profit, leaving that margin that they are going to make something to be negotiated. They just may enter into an agreement with you just so they can move on and make some profit and go on to the next account, but you want to make sure, of course, that you get this in writing. Paying off and closing any accounts that you have in collections will have a very positive effect on your credit score almost instantaneously, but definitely will affect your credit score in a positive way in the long run. One great hack to raise your credit score is to become an authorized user on somebody else's credit card account. Now, you must think I'm crazy, But hear me out, this is an actual method. It's a little bit tricky, of course, because first you need to find someone with good credit, but more importantly, someone who's willing to do this for you. And since people guard their credit with their lives, this is not gonna be easy. But assuming you found someone, by you becoming an authorized user on their card, you would essentially benefit from this person's on-time payments and credit utilization rate, which would help then increase your credit score. Now, I definitely want to add that this is only for those of you who have a tight grip on your spending habits, and you would need to be extra careful to not use this person's credit for any reason whatsoever, because that can in turn make this process even more difficult and possibly ineffective. And you definitely don't want to bring down anybody's credit, especially if they cared enough for you to try to help you out. So look at this method more as you're a passenger and just along for the ride. All of this goes without saying that you want to do your best to maintain on-time payments. Keep in mind that late payments are considered as either 30, 60, or 90 days late, so the later your payments show, the more it affects your credit. So if you're late on a few payments for whatever reason, make sure to focus on paying those that are 60 and 90 days late first, as those will be more beneficial in the long run. By taking these steps, you can raise your credit score quickly. Now, don't expect this to happen overnight. It's important to maintain realistic expectations because each person's credit score is so unique that it's impossible to say how fast these changes will reflect or how soon they will reflect. But what I can say is that the sooner you get started, the faster this will happen. And ideally, if you maintain these practices, your credit score will be in good shape for the years to come. Guys, consider subscribing to the channel for more weekly real estate content just like this video. And you guys know the routine already. Tap that like button if you found value from this video, and tap that dislike button twice if you didn't. Also, don't forget to share this video and help spread the message, as it really helps out the channel. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time.